yes, it definitely inspired people, especially me. All right, so this is what I wrote. I wrote two parts, but I'm just gonna read one today. And this is called, Have You Ever Wished? Have you ever wished? Have you ever wished you could become unconscious? That you could return to your glory days of blissful ignorance? Perhaps a time when you thought all was good with the world, because all was relatively good with you. Well, sometimes I desperately wish I hadn't become conscious. And no, I don't mean wokeness or superficial political correctness that often gets weaponized to prevent real transformation. I mean the consciousness that makes you able to differentiate those peddling real change from those peddling fake change. Authenticity from pandering, problem solving from fear-mongering, solutions from platitudes, equity from tokenism, people-driven endeavors from ego-driven endeavors, symbolism from transformation, and campaign rhetoric from governing policies. Have you ever wished you could unsee what you see and unknow what you know now? I wish I could. I wish I could unknow that 45 to 68,000 people die a year in America due to lack of health care. I wish I could unknow that 500,000 Americans go bankrupt due to medical bills. I wish I could know that 3 people own more wealth. 3. How many?
3.
How many?
3.
3. I wish I could know that 3 people own more wealth than the bottom 50% of the US population. Are these 3 people 150 million times much smarter and 150 million times much more hardworking than the rest of us? Meanwhile, over 500,000 Americans are homeless, and almost half the US population lives paycheck to paycheck and cannot afford a $400 emergency. Have you ever wished you could go back to your blissful days of seeing statistics as statistics? I wish I could, because every time I see statistics about the homeless, incarcerated people, or those trapped in addictions and more, I no longer see numbers. I see Todd, Mike, Chris. I see Rigo, Duamo, Ayo. I see Sandy, Phaedra, Stephen, and so many more. Today, when I see stats, I see people, personalities, and stories. I see faces, feelings, and the failures of our systems and our government. I sometimes wish I could unbuild those relationships that gave me insight into the horrendous challenges many have to overcome daily. I was blind to my own privileges and the many things I've taken for granted. I used to think I am where I am, mostly because of my own brilliance, hard work, righteousness, and personal responsibility and grit. I used to think that charity, thoughts, and prayers are the best we can do for those who are destitute. I used to think that individual kindness could make up for systemic injustices, and that politics was inconsequential. I used to think that destitution was just a combination of bad luck and poor choices. I did not know that most of our socioeconomic issues were being manufactured, exacerbated, or perpetuated by politics. In fact, I wish I could go back to brunch with the privilege of not needing to worry about politics. I wish I could go back to being blind to the systemic wealth inequality, the systemic racism, the revisionist history, and the existence of the many industrial complexes, which are emblematic of the greed, corruption, and cruelty of our systems. blind to how the ultra-rich and powerful manufacture our consent through the media so that we can become accomplices in our own oppression, blind to the millions suffocating under the status quo, blind to the fact that although the status quo has been a comfort zone for me, for millions more, it has been a war zone. Yes, our current systems have positives which many of us benefit from, especially those of us in the professional managerial class. But sometimes I wish my traumas hadn't given me a tiny taste into the reality of how these same systems I love can quickly and easily entrap many, making it hard for them to transcend their circumstances. I have been fortunate to have certain privileges and safety nets. I finally realized that freedom, freedom, is not just about what I have, but also largely about what I do not have to worry about. I wish I didn't know that there was a better way, that I could go back to learned helplessness, when I could see and acknowledge the suffering around me, but say, well, that's just the way things are, and anything anyone can do about it. We just have to go with the flow. I just have to worry about my own survival. And then I can perpetually donate to charity or volunteer, or just be nice. I wish I could go back to a time when I didn't know that my miseducation and complacency keeps many people impoverished and trapped, but that my voice and my vote can change lives. I wish we hadn't come so close to having a shot at real transformation, real change, then watch it all crumble within the blink of an eye, falling subject to the media and establishment's massive coordinated effort to quench the winds of change and any hopes of change. Oh, how I desperately wish I could go back to being unconscious. But I can't. I can't unsee what I see. I can't unknow what I know. I can't unbuild the bridges. I can't unbuild those cherished relationships that burst my bubbles, raised my consciousness, and expanded my perspectives. That's why I cannot be complacent. I cannot relent. I can help raise public awareness and consciousness so that we can stand in solidarity and leverage our people power to transform our society. Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm almost done, I promise. Noam, the legendary cognitive scientist and historian, said, some of the most effective kinds of propaganda are the kinds that allow you to see what's going on, but make you feel that you can't do anything about it. Who agrees with that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Give me a hooray if you agree with that.
Hooray!
I can't hear you. Okay, great. But I say to those trying to manufacture our consent, well, too bad. Because I ain't giving up.
Right.
As Bernie Sanders said, the campaign may be over, but the struggle is not. Bernie Sanders helped me wake up, and I'm not going back to sleep. I hope you can join me on this journey of healing, learning, building bridges, fostering empathy, and building a more just society that works for all who live in it. I cannot become unconscious, but I can make conscious choices. Thank you.